exceptional game 4.
Well, first off, none of us, or none of them, have their predictions. You had a 3-0, you had a 3-1, you had 3-0. I actually noted down a 3. That's a lie, it's not there. But let's just say that the series has not gone the way we had expected it to go. OG has put up more of a fight, and H2K has actually faltered in the things that we might have expected them to falter in.
Yeah, I mean, they've made some of the macro mistakes, which we normally would praise them for, like tower diving, obviously, early on in the series, where Origen was also good at reacting to the tower dive itself. This game, lane swapping, I think we need to have a good discussion here, because I actually feel like they made a mistake rushing for that inhib tower. We can just pull up the replay, because we have prepared to talk about lane swaps.
It's a Lulu game.
It's a Lulu game. It was 50 minutes long. We want to talk lane swaps. So basically, just to set it up very quickly, both teams are taking down early tier 1, so they're now swapped for the 3rd time. H2K has Rift held on Elise, who will join the team and push in. So this is normally where you will have a slight tempo advantage, and H2K knows that. So once we run the clip, we're going to see H2K say, we can take down this tower with Rift held faster than Origen can take down our tier 2, and therefore we can rush for inhib tower. The problem is, if you do not get that inhib tower down, you set your top laner, or you put your bot lane at least, in a very, very bad situation, and normally the top lane will then try and catch some of that wave, because now you realize, okay, Origen is coming back, they're recalled early, you can see how Sven is staying to kill this tower. Here, I want to see the Trundle go down and take this wave and push out on top side, because if he doesn't do it, there's no waves for him. Look on your minimap here. Echo is sitting on bot side, really far up. There's no farm for Odoamne right now. He falls really far behind. OG pulls up this very, very cheeky little gank, and a little bit cheesy, but very, very well played. And Forgiven is alone, pushing out. Always have people around you, never push out alone. Especially not after dark. That is very, very scary. And Forgiven dies for it.
And realistically, what that meant in pretty simple terms is Odoamne was still level 4 when Soaz was level 6. He never is going to have any kind of presence in that lane going up against the Echo. And there were just so many times where you'd try and see H2K utilizing this early game, but because they were kind of weak in one limb, they never really had the force to take out multiple targets. It meant maybe they get a kill on the Lulu early game, but it didn't translate into enough of anything to really combat this team that just wants to sit back and never fight. And that's the Lulu comp that I know you love, Sheepy.
That's why we ban it, because it just takes too long. 45-minute games, and at this point you just like mentally are not stable anymore. In the beginning, the lane swap and everything just slows down the tempo. Props to XPEC playing a good game and not getting caught more than once. And they just dragged out the game, waited for 5 to 6 items, 5 dragons maybe, and some Nashers, and then played the Lulu comp. Yeah, I think there's nothing more to say about this game. I think both just played good, and I think H2K could have maybe looked for a little bit more aggressive plays.
I think H2K made too many mistakes to make their comp work. When you play against double teleport, and basically, as you said, it was about ganking Pekka early on, because he picked teleport instead of cleanse into the Elise LeBlanc lane, and they got the first kill on him, got a second kill, but he survived everything else. And then because the Trundle got set behind due to the failed lane swap from H2K, they no longer had 2 winning side lanes. The LeBlanc was strong, but not strong enough to take over the game completely, so they could keep it even. Trundle was always falling behind, and that means it's very difficult to push your advantage against double teleport. And Origen basically saying, yeah, guys, we need 5 items on Sven, then we're going to win the game.
Yeah, I said relying very much on Sven also to make the right moves in those team fights. Let's take a look at a play that then led to Baron for OG, where they did very well as well in the mid lane.
Sheepy, do you like this kind of Lulu comp?
Oh, I love it.
Will you catch the 80 carry, and then...
And then Lulu comes in, and there's not even LeBlanc, like there's no burst. And LeBlanc comes now from the side, and we see how much she is doing. She is the one supposed to kill him. Yeah, it doesn't hit the ultimate, now gets funneled around, Gragas E gets killed, and basically there's no DPS. And I mean, against the Lulu comp, you have like 1 shot, 1 opportunity, and not miss your chance.
Something
blow
spaghetti.
up the ADC, spaghetti mom. Like, they really had this 1 chance there, and LeBlanc was not in position.
We did see some very smart adaptations, though, coming in from Origen. This game, pick and bans. Braum instead of Alistar in the first rotation, when the first pick is Sivir. Fantastic. That
So
fight.
as Echo.
Again, yeah, sure. Echo as well was a good pick for Source, but this fight right here, again...
Your personal favorite, Echo.
Echo is
Always
nice.
there.
Echo is good.
Do you honestly think it needs to be banned? Or do you think it doesn't matter?
I think it's very, very strong. I don't think it's a game-changing pick right here. I think, like, take a game like this one, right, where you're so focused on how you cannot fall behind early as H2K, you get this long, drawn-out game, and you want to pick Sivir again. I'm looking at this Braum. because that teamfight we just showed, you catch out the AD carry, Forgiven did 0 damage. Because he shoots right into a Braum shield every single time. And that was a good adaptation in this pick and ban phase, made it so hard to kill anyone unless Ryu could one-shot someone. True.
And I think the difficulty with the Echo, specifically to answer your question, is nobody as yet has found a reliable way to deal with it. And that is one of the biggest problems we have, is it is starting to get a lot of freedom here. It's not 100% win, but certainly there's no reliable way to do it.
I honestly think that they're just like champions people don't pick up, like Cannon we saw over in LCK, and also the Rise. I honestly believe like that's a really good pick. Maybe we see more coming into more playoff games. We have another match tomorrow, so you know, maybe we see the Rise coming out.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple of things there that we might also see in the rest of the playoffs. I got a little bit of news for you. Power of Evil is back in.
He's back.
Yes,
they also play
game
blue
5.
side.
And they play blue side, and I think it's really interesting to think back to that clip of Vander in the middle who said there, we don't really care who's in the mid lane, but at this point, the mind games are pretty strong. They're back to blue, OG. They swapped out Expect. I think everyone expects, okay, just stay in for the rest of the series now, but now Power is back in. So what can he now bring? He could have just played, if he played Lulu that last game, that would have been fine too, to be honest, but we'll see what happens.
It's why it's so hard to talk about this, because it's shot calling in-game. Like, we don't really know what Peck is saying or what Power Viva's saying.
Champion pools. Maybe if they ban out the Lulu, like that's it for Xpec's champion pool, and he's like, it's very close.
Yeah, guys, come on.
It's very close.
But at the same time, though, you've got to expect, if you're Origin, that Lulu's going to get banned. It was banned 12 games before today.
But now they don't need to ban it anymore, right? I mean, Xpec is not there anymore, and it's Power, and Power can play whatever, like Oriana and Varus.
You know, what is this? Do you think this is a strategy thing from them as a team, or is this a confidence thing? Because
I would honestly like them to commentate on that, because I don't know. I'll comment on this. I think that it's Power played probably like a lot of games and feels very confident. It's maybe also somebody stepping up like, hey, I have a good idea or something like this. So could be anything at this point. I think it's definitely mixing up again the match, and you know, H2K needs to answer this, and will they? You know.
It probably does come down to champion pool and the fact they're on blue side, so they would most likely blind pick the mid lane. And if Peke maybe doesn't feel comfortable because of the way some of the bans have been going, saying I have a blind pick ready, and then Ryu can't counter pick me, so maybe that's where they trust more in Power of Evil. We have to see if it works.
they wanted to protect that undefeated Xpeke 4-0 record in Spring Split so far. That must be
and
it.
they obviously don't want to win to get to the final, right?
That has nothing to do with it whatsoever. We saw that the teams need some more time, of course, to adjust for Game 5, but we are going to take a quick break as Origen has tied the series at 2-2. 1 game left to decide who we will see in the finals in Rotterdam. Don't touch that browser. We will be right back.
Hear someone say summoner. I'm going to watch you insta-type it, even when you're in team fights.
No, I can't do it in team fights. But why are you standing alone? I was timing, dude.
Dog, and now Jankos comes in as well. The Volatile's piling, the auto attacks, the ignite. First blood over to Ryu.
Go slowly, go slowly, go slowly. The blast on set. She said.
Okay, we got
jungle. Nash.
Origen have an advantage. Forgiven follows suit.
This fight is so messy, but now OG onto Banner. He'll be dropping.
Origen are onto the Nexus turrets and even out the series at 2-2.